So we're down here for DOE Formula V's Grid Scramble and the lucky draws. Fastest lap of yesterday went to Brandon. Brandon, you can come and get your prize there, buddy. Well done. Congratulations. Hopefully the fastest lap continues today. Let's see. Thanks. Awesome stuff. And then the lucky draw is going to be like this. We're going to walk through the crowd and we're going to go, you know what, Pete? No. You can have one. You got a Westbank Challenge one on there. That's an old man. Representing the old brand there, you can see it, as opposed to the old talkies. And then,
I'm not allowed to do it, sorry.
no, you're not allowed to. I'm not going to give it to you. If I could give it to you, I would, but I'm not going to give it to him. Okay, so those are the lucky draws done, guys. I need the top 6 now for the grid scramble. If you guys can just come and line up here for me.
Brandon, Peter, Lendo, yeah, sure, Lucian.
Top 6. I hope there's 6 envelopes at you. I hope there's 6 envelopes there.
Yes, I counted them. I've already did those.
That sequence, you can't have this one. You can't have this one either. You cannot have this one. You cannot have that.
That's number 1, thanks, mate.
Alright, gentlemen, on the count of 3, please. 3, 2, 1, go! Not too shabby, guys, not too shabby. A big welcome here to Aldo Scribante once again. Here now live on the track side as opposed to down in pit lane with that opening link. Hope you enjoyed all that little bit of fun and games that happens with DOE Formula V. They've joined us for the very first time for the first race today, and a new sponsor joins them as well, with the Universal Oil Group coming to partner up there with DOE and Start My Car and all their associate sponsors involved with our DOE Formula Vs. It's going to be an action-packed race as always. We always tout them as the four-wheel version of Superbike racing, and they usually put on that kind of show. So expect to see some big battles sorted out here on the black stuff of Koberga. Let's get into that grid quickly if I can just pull it up on my phone and tell you exactly how they're going to line up with the grid. DOE Formula V's, of course, qualified first thing this morning. It was cool conditions they were in, and fastest lap coming out of Lucian Ramchanda. He was the man to beat in qualifying, and he, of course, has set the pace ahead of Brandon Hills, who was quickest yesterday all day long, getting himself a special prize there this morning, as you could see. And then behind them, Lendl Janssen and Peter Hills. It's Sean van der Linde and Gert van den Berg. Then we got Greg Wilson and Josef Kotze, Carl Watt and Theo Vermaak, Marcel Blichnoot and Roy Douglas. Then you've got Helder Gavea, Ernie Vermaak, and right at the back there will be Dave Austin, bringing up the tail end of this field. Nice to see 15 Formula Vs down here. National Championship status up for grabs for these guys. So stand by as we go live, courtesy of Link Online, our partners here with Two Wheels TV and up to 60 seconds. And yours truly, the voice of choice, going to be in the house all day with you. Well, actually not in the house. We're in a van outside the circuit. But we made a plan so we can go live for everybody to catch all the action here. We got green flags at the back. And looks like they're going to be sent on their way now for their first race of the day. It's a 10 lapper coming away, and a quick little warm-up lap for these guys to get some heat into the rubber. A couple of guys battling off the line there. Most notably was Lucian Ramchanda. Didn't quite get off the line as quickly as what he'd hoped, but certainly Brandon Hills was able to do that. There was a bit of a stutter there, but you can see they're now starting to weave side to side to try and get as much heat into those Bridgestones as possible. And if you have just joined us on our live stream feed, a big welcome to you guys as well. Looking forward to entertaining everybody all around the world. Going on the short straightaway into turn number 2, which is a set of S's, the Schaeffler S's. And then it's a small kink to the left-hand side. A little undulation there as the circuit heads down a little hill and up the other side, and heading basically to where these cars are now, up at the hairpin. And that's where we're going to see a lot of action here today, I'm sure. Formula V's one of the longest standing single-seater championships in the world. And now heading up towards the final corner. That one, of course, sponsored by the Alternate tyre brand. And there's a couple of categories that run those tyres today. But these guys, of course, are on Bridgestones and head their way to the line to take up their start positions. We've got 3 heats of action coming out of these guys today, so it's going to be a busy day in the saddle for a lot of these guys. National Championship at this stage, Greg Wilson leads out Gert van der Berg and Lucian Ramchander in 3rd with Lendl Janssen in 4th. So literally the first couple of cars on the grid, other than the one that Brandon Hills is in, are involved in the championship battle as well. Qualifying laps coming out of Brando was a 107.9. Peter did a 108 dead. Lendl did a 108.060. 108.1. 108.5. 108.5. That's how tight it is for those top 6. So we're expecting to see a big battle here. And the top 15 are all split by less than 2 seconds as we get underway now for race 1 here at the Extreme Festival. Looks like it might be Lucian Ramchander who's got the ability to get the whole shot, but he's already under attack now from Lendl Janssen as they head down towards turn 1. It's a long shot down into turn 1. Let's see if they can keep it all together now and hopefully hang in for an opportunity there to get into the S's first. It is Ramchander who leads things out. So Ramchander is the man to beat into turn 2, and he gets the whole shot. And let's see if he can keep it all together now for the first part of this race. Coming out of the S's, the rest of the pack sort themselves out. There was Aldo just in the background, but front end is where we're going to concentrate at this stage. And you can see Brandon Hills already having to make up some ground, not getting the start he wanted as they get into the top of the hill and now heading back down that hill. Peter's just ahead of Brandon as they come down the hill, and it looks like it's going to be a bit of a fight on there between the boys from Mangaza Racing. Lendl Janssen in the Bull security car leads out at this point in time. Volkswagen Silver Oaks, of course, one of the sponsors on his car, will be pretty happy with the performance so far. And then as we come up into the top for the first time out of Beacon Corner, Dunlop Corner as it's known here as well, ahead across the line, a complete lap 1 of 10. Ramchander from Janssen, Hills, Van der Berg and Brandon Hills. So front row from Brandon Hills, and he's now attacking on Gert van der Berg going into turn 1. Not quite close enough though. Peter Hill's going to try and go right the outside of Ramchander. Watch him to cut back into the S's. He has a look, but no, not close enough. Little dive up the inside there, just squeezing the nose in to see if he can find a way. But Ramchander was well aware of where he was and came up to him relatively quickly and said, no, you're going to have to work a little bit harder than that, Pete, to get through on me. Peter's certainly working hard. So is Brandon. Brandon trying to find a way through on Van der Berg. He's got better drive coming out of Hanger Sweep. And he's good on the brakes. Is he going to get through? Yes, he is. Back up to 4th place there. Watch out for Greg Wilson starting to make his way to the front as well. He also battled a bit in the qualifying, only finished up in 7th place ahead of Yusuf Kotza. Now as they head into Beacon Corner again. Last bit of action up to the top here. Carl Watt starting to come through as well. Starting to apply the pressure there, just looking for a chance of being inside that top 10. He's just inside it at the moment in 9th. There you can see confirmation of the last lap, and as they go across the line, how things have changed up. Sean van der Linde has moved his way up as well. Look at this, Peter Hills. All 3 abreast into turn 1. This could end up in tears. Ramchander very late on the brakes. Keeps out Lendl Janssen. Janssen's got Hills on his inside though, looking for a chance to dive into the S's. No, not quite close enough to get in there. But 3 cars side by side down towards turn 1 is the kind of action that we always expect to see coming out of Formula V. It's arguably why you've got the likes of DOE, Techno SA, Start My Car, and now Universal Oil Group joining them as partners for these incredible little races that happen with Formula V all around the country. Janssen was quickest on that last pass, a 108.4. Getting 108.6s and 9s, a 109.2 coming out of Brandon. So a little bit of work to be done there for the guys 5, 6 and 7th place. Losing grip with those first 4 cars ever so slightly, so have to be aware of that. Brandon Hills is trying to bridge the gap there to his dad just up the road. So the Hills boys coming along. Peter looking to try and thread the needle here between Ramchanda and Janssen. Janssen's late on the brakes. Janssen hits the front around the outside of turn 1. Great bit of driving there from Lionel Janssen as he came into turn 1 on the outside line. Just left his braking that little much later and just squeezed through. And now he's opened 2 car lengths. So it looks like Janssen's on a charge here. Now looking to try and get away from the rest of this pack. Pull the small margin there, but Ramchanda answers it almost instantaneously to come back into a potential hunt for the front. It's about to become a 6-way battle there. We wait for Gert van den Berg and Greg Wilson to join them. Not too far off the back, and then a little bit of a gap down to Van der Linde. Van der Linde into Kotze. Kotze's got some work to do as well, as he's got Kyle Watt closing rapidly. It's going to be pretty tasty stuff here between these guys as they get into the mid part of this first heat of the day for Formula V's. Formula V race 1. We've got 3 of the heats to come. So it's going to be interesting stuff to see how they finish up at the end of the day and see who can manage their tyres the best as well. Right now you've got almost ideal conditions for these cars. And possibly looking at some new lap records being set here if these guys can sort it all out. So we're into it here big time. And the battle is on for the lead. Look at how Ramchanda is now putting the pressure onto the back end, piling it on. See if he can find a way to get back to the front end of the field and ahead of Lionel Janssen. Kyle Watt losing a little bit of ground there to Josef Kotze. That's for 8th and 9th place on track. As I said, the first 4 now just evenly matched. 7 out of Janssen, a 108.2, 108.3 and 107.9 out of the first 4. So fastest was Lionel Janssen on a 107.8, but a 107.9 came out of 4th place there, Brandon Hills. Watching for Wilson and for Van den Berg. Is there any way that the number 7 and number 1 cars can maybe join that pack? If they work together, they can. 3 abreast down towards 1 again. And this time, well, Hills has a big look on the inside. But Ramchanda saw him coming, shut the door. Didn't want to let him through there. But watch out for the drive out of the S's coming from Peter Hills and up towards turn 5. The hairpin at the top of the hill there is where Peter Hills is going to try and pounce. If he gets good drive here through Hanger, he might be able to have a go there at Lucian Ramchanda. He's got good drive. Is it going to be good enough though? If they come up the hole, Ramchanda sees him coming, goes defensive. Not going to give him any room to play. So the Liqui Moly car hanging on for 2nd. What's he going to do about that attack in a few minutes' time? Because Peter Hills is definitely going to have a go. He's certainly going to have a big look there at some point in time and maybe force a mistake out of Lucian Ramchanda. Ramchanda hasn't been having an answer to Lionel Janssen, who now continues to lead by that car length. It's not a huge margin to have, but in Formula V's, due to the fact that they are so evenly matched and so close in terms of their race abilities and skills behind the wheel, means you've got to have your wits about you. And same thing's happening here. Here comes Hills. Hills going to be late on the brakes. Yes, he is. He's exceptionally late on the brakes. Into turn 1. We have a new 2nd place. Well, he forces Ramchanda wide. He's going to come into 2 now. Oh, but Ramchanda's too good. Too good on the brakes there from Lucian Ramchanda to hang on into the first part of the S's. So Ramchanda just fending off the attacks coming from both the Hills boys now. It is slowing him up slightly, and he's lost another car length there to Lionel Janssen out front. So he's just got to concentrate on trying to go on the attack as well as play the defensive role. Not always an easy thing to do for a driver. Brandon Hills about to be caught there by the looks of things by Gert van den Berg and Wilson. They seem to have got a little bit closer than what they were in the first couple of laps. Coming across the line now to complete lap number 7, 3 to go. It's a bit of weaving from side to side there from Lionel Janssen, not allowing anybody to get into his slipstream, to use that slipstream advantage. Fastest lap there, 107.6 out of Gert van der Berg down in 6th place. So Van der Berg and Wilson are certainly coming along for the ride. It's a pity that Sean van der Linde couldn't just stick onto the back end of them, because he'd probably be there as well. At this stage though, top 2 in small margin to 3 and 4, slightly bigger margin to 5 and 6. So they're racing in 2s here at the moment. Watch out for Ramchundra now getting to drive. Great drive out of Hanger. Not quite close enough to have a go though into the hairpin. As they head down the hill into Chevy Sweep. Watch out for Gert van der Berg as well, trying to pounce there. Catch Craig Wilson off guard. Here we go, up towards Beacon again. There's those late lines and late apexes coming from the first 6 cars on track. Trying to run the late apex and the late exit point. Getting as much drive down in these little Polo engines as possible. Ramchundra not close enough. Can't get into that slipstream. Lendl Janssen is doing everything right at the moment to keep out the chances of Lendl Janssen's win for race 1 being taken away by Lucian Ramchundra. Janssen running very wide lines, coming up on a back marker as well. Keeping issues there for one of the cars. I think it might be Aldo that they're about to catch. So Aldo about to be caught and passed by these guys. Didn't expect to be anybody getting lapped in this race, considering the fact that the first, or all 15 cars were only split by 2 seconds. But there must have been some kind of an issue there. And if I look at the car, I was going to say it's similar colours to Sean van der Linde's car, so I was a bit concerned it might have been him, but it's not. Coming up on that second lime green car, it's the metallic lime green machine. And as we go there, we got 2 to go for this one. The Hydro Clean car there being caught and passed by our leaders as they start their penultimate lap. Peter Hill's now in the slip for sure. Is he good enough to get past? He's going to try and force Ramchundra to a move. He goes wide and it comes back in right under that gearbox. Looking for a way through now, but can't find it. It's 3 cars now, basically nose to tail. You can throw away that slight advantage that Janssen had. He's no longer got it. Anybody of these top 4 can take the win. And listen, 5 and 6 are standing by for anything that gets thrown by the wayside. Our reigning champion is down in 6th place at this stage. He's going to be tinkering with that car, I'm sure, to get a little bit extra out of it for race 2 and 3. Very good, clean and clear race so far from all of the Formula V competitors, as they once again head towards Beacon for the last time. Second last time, I beg your pardon. So last time they'll come into this one will be on the next pass, and the flag will be waiting, but they've still got 1 more to go. Now let's see if anybody can get into that slipstream. Much better run onto the straight there from Ramchundra. He's a lot closer. Flag is out though. Okay, that changed up. Our timing monitor said we had 1 more to go, but clearly the flag has come out, and that's it. Apologies for that. We were going on what the timing monitor said, and it said 1 to go. So Lendl Janssen takes the victory. We'll get the confirmation of those results put up in a few seconds' time. There we go. Janssen from Ramchundra, Peter Hills and Brandon Hills, Gert van der Berg ahead of Greg Wilson. Great fight there from the top 6's point of view. And then Sean van der Linde will be looking to bridge that gap, get into that top 6, make it a top 7 fight for race number 2. Josef Kotzer finished up in 8th ahead of Carl Watt, Theo Vermaak and Marcel Bluchnoot, Roy Douglas, Ernie Vermaak, Dave Austin, and as we saw there, Aldo, the only car that got lapped in that last penultimate lap. And he drops down to 15th place overall.